Hello, this is Terrell Pauly with LearnHealthcareIT.com, and I am actually just did a video talking about the Avengers Infinity War and how it actually ties into how I talked about the parallelism between that movie and healthcare IT, and I think I want to actually now I want to talk about the not parallelism between this new Star Wars trilogy and healthcare IT, actually, because I kind of brought up Star Wars at the end of my last video, kind of put a thought in my head. So I said, hey, well, let's just talk about it real quick. So this video here is actually going to be talking about the new Star Wars trilogy thus far, or the new Star Wars movies. This may not be as long as my last video that I did with Avengers Infinity War. So I wanted to talk about that. So, and how it does not relate to healthcare IT. And it just kind of popped in my head and I'm going to do it. So this is what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about another movie. So if this doesn't suit you, then I would probably, you're not a Star Wars fan. You're not going to want to watch this video. Before I get started, I'm going to say this video is going to contain spoilers for episode, where we at? Episode 7 and episode 8 in Star Wars. So it's going to contain spoilers because I want to talk about some specific stuff. It may contain spoilers. So I just want to forewarn you. If you haven't seen Star Wars Episode 7 or Star Wars Episode 8, don't watch this video, probably. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to probably get off. I've explained my dislike, my frustration, and my anger with, this new Star Wars trilogy to myself, because I talk to myself sometimes. I've explained this to my brother, who's also a Star Wars fan, and I explained how they have crushed and destroyed Star Wars for me. So I think that some of the main points that I do not enjoy at all is, and in the end, once I'm done talking about Star Wars in general, I'm gonna let you know how it does not parallel with healthcare IT. So, some of the main points that I did not like in Star Wars at all has nothing to do with the female, the female hero. I think the female hero is great. I think with the original trilogy, it was the male. It was the hero, but you also had a female that was also a major figure in the series that helped out a lot. So, but this one, the main hero is female, which I think is great. The problem I had was that the female hero, Rey, was she started out. She could do everything, right? Pretty much, she could do. Let's go back to Luke, right? Let's go back to the original trilogy. So back to the original trilogy, Luke started out, right? He had to. I think he might have already been like he knew how to fly. He knew how to pilot, I believe. But he got with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan started to mentor him a little bit and teach him about the Force, the ways of the Force. He began teaching him the theory about the Force, and then he began to show him things, and he began to actually do a little bit of training with Luke too as well. Maybe a little bit of lightsaber training. Okay, so Luke had to. That was the beginning, right? He had to learn some things. He learned some things. That was like episode 4. You know, he was a great pilot. He was a good pilot. You know, he was able, and then just based on what Obi-Wan was able to kind of mentor him and teach him about how to use the Force, how the Force, you know, is within you, feeling. You know, he was able to destroy the whatchamacallit in episode 4. I forgot that big monstrosity of a planet destroyer, but you know what I'm talking about. So that was episode 4. Now episode 5, I think that I'm trying to remember actually how he was able to, because he started to train. Yes, so he met Yoda for the first time in episode 5, right? I'm just trying to recall, and I forgot how he actually knew Yoda was there. Maybe he actually talked to Obi-Wan. Maybe Obi-Wan came back and told him. So he met with a Jedi, powerful Jedi, Yoda. He went to go train with Yoda, right? Met with Yoda, he trained, he was there. Yoda, I mean, he was with a Master Jedi. And this Master Jedi taught him the more theory, taught him how to use the Force, taught him how to fight with a lightsaber. So he's being trained. Luke is being groomed, right? And we all know what happened, right? Episode 5. He's training with a Master Jedi, Yoda, doing all this stuff. Then he got word that his friends were in danger by Darth Vader, and he felt as though that he was afraid. He felt as though he needed to go save him. Yoda and Obi-Wan recommended no. They said no, don't do it because your training is not complete. If you go face Vader now, you will lose, and your friends will die, and you will risk all that you have invested in thus far. But you know, Luke, he insisted on going, so he left. You know, we all know the story. He went to go face Darth Vader, and he lost. He got his hand chopped off, and he lost. Right? He lost, and so he lost, and then he lost a hand in the process, and he had to go back to. In episode 6, he went back to, you know, he was almost a Jedi or something like that, but he went back to Yoda, and he completed his training, right? He completed his training. Yoda died, became one with the Force. And Luke is now the last Jedi, right, that we know of on the planet, in the Star Wars universe on the planet. So it was my whole thing is a whole process. It was a whole process, right? It was a whole process. This is the whole thing, right? It was a process. He started from point A, and then he was able to get to point, you know, W when doing this process. My problem is that this new female Rey in this new movie, this new trilogy, there is no process for Rey. Rey from the beginning, she's from the beginning. She's a great pilot. She's able to fly the Millennium Falcon, no problem. And that did not really even bother me too much. Okay, she's weaving. She says she's never flown before. Oh, she's using the Force to. I don't know how I did this. This is the Force. I'm able to, you know, be a great pilot. That kind of bothered me a little bit. And then how she was able to use the Force to actually, when she got captured by Kylo Ren, and she's Kylo Ren is using the Force on her, and then she's started to use the Force against him, and she's battling him with using the Force, and she's never been trained to use the Force. So where does this? I mean, there's no training. There's no. You're just using the Force. It just comes to you. So that bothered me a lot. What threw me over the top was episode 7. At the end of episode 7, when she is performing a lightsaber duel with Kylo Ren, and she almost bested him. She pretty much almost bested Kylo Ren, who's been trained. Kylo Ren has been trained by Luke. He's been trained by a Jedi. I don't know if Luke was a master by that time. Probably was a master, a knight, a master. I don't know. He's been trained by the last known Jedi. Luke is training his own, group of Jedi, group of pupils. He's been trained by Luke. How do and this Rey is having a lightsaber duel. She's never used a lightsaber before. And I think that she actually bested him. She was actually able to best him and pretty much almost beat him in a lightsaber duel. At that point, I kind of threw up my hands. So I was blown away by that. It did not make any sense to me whatsoever. I think that they kind of threw out all of this new trilogy, this new director, whoever, just kind of threw away all of the what was already set up in this prior Star Wars series, right? And so as we get into episode 8, it was just kind of more of the same thing, right? I don't even remember. It's just kind of more of the same thing. It was just, first of all, what they did in episode 8 is that they just kind of, in my opinion, they just kind of took whatever it was they kind of set up in episode 7. Like, we're going to find out who is this character who's Kylo Ren is serving, who's Rey's parents, these things that they kind of set up in episode 7. Episode 8 just kind of wiped all those away. It's gone. Rey's parents are nobody. This guy that Kylo Ren was serving, we're going to kill him. You're not going to know his backstory. Just kind of tore everything down. Rey is still almighty powerful. She went to actually go train with Luke. I don't know what for, because she was already superpower. But she went to go train, but she didn't actually do any training there. She didn't do anything. Luke just told her something crazy like, the Force is what you feel. It's ridiculous. So, but there was no training. There was no training there. But she came from that interaction with Luke. And, she's almighty powerful. Star Wars. She is destroying whatever. I don't know the names of the guards after the Snoke. After Snoke gets chopped in half by Kylo Ren, Snoke's guards, the guards in the red suits. I can understand Kylo Ren. He has skills. He should be able to, he's been trained, so he's able to fight. He's able to have a lightsaber duel with these guards. Rey's having another lightsaber duel with these guards, and she has not been trained to use a lightsaber. Again, it's ridiculous. So we get all the way to the end, and I think the point of the movie was that or the point of these movies is that you don't have to be. The point of these new trilogies, I think what they're trying to get across is that you don't have to be a Jedi. You don't have to be a Jedi in order to know the Force and to use the Force and to be able to use a lightsaber. And you don't need training per se. You don't need to have this knowledge. You don't need to have, they had Yoda destroy the makeshift Jedi, knowledge, the books that that Luke had, and he just destroyed. And so that was their whole point, is that you don't have to do any of these things. The Force is in you. You can just skip the training. Don't worry about none of that stuff. If the Force is in you, you don't need to be a Jedi. You don't need to follow that that mythology. If the Force is in you, you can do all things. I think that whole idea is horrible. It's horrible. So it's terrible. It's ridiculous. It's blasphemy to what everything was transpired. I mean, all of the things that you could do with Star Wars, you decide to take excuse my language, I'm about to curse. You decide to take a crap after all of this mythology that was set up, and you just threw it away. It's gone. We don't need it. We're going to do something different. Horrible. Terrible. So if you really know what my feelings are about Star Wars, if you didn't already know, I'm sorry, we need a little bit more light here. I think the light's kind of shining in on me. Hopefully you can still kind of see. Hang on one second. Okay. The sun is starting to set. So I need, it was kind of shining in my face. So I just needed to kind of get rid of the sun there. Okay, a little bit. So yeah, that is so that's kind of been my feeling about this new Star Wars trilogy, and how it does not parallel with this new trilogy anyway. Parallel with Healthcare IT. You can kind of see where I was kind of going with this. Is that Rey there's no training for Rey. She's has gone through no training. She's like, what's the word, that term that I learned, a Mary Sue. She's a Mary Sue. She's can do all things out the gate. She has no struggle. There's no problem for her. She's able to do things that so it does not relate to healthcare IT, because when you're actually, how the world works is that you actually have to learn. You actually have to, like how I've been in this space now for 13 years, and I learned. It's been, what I know now has been a culmination of the past 13 years of dealing with being in different scenarios, working with different on different jobs, interacting with different hospitals, imaging centers, people, places, different information systems, different modalities, all of these different things, right? And these are all combination of years of experience. And as the years go by, the more that you're in this field, the more experience that you get, the more that you're able to do things, and it's more natural. It's a part of you because you've been with it for so long. You know it. It's kind of like how this new Star Wars trilogy is not. they're just able to do things. It's kind of like I am now. It's just kind of like I just come into the healthcare IT space today, and I'm using the force. I'm using the will of the force of IT to invoke. I'm powerful, and so I just gain all this knowledge, and I know everything. Just 13 years, I gained it in one day. It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So, this is how the new Star Wars trilogy is nothing like healthcare IT. And so I'm sorry, I don't want to probably upset any Star Wars fans, but you guys know what the heck I'm talking about. I'm right. So that's pretty much it. So if you're looking to actually gain experience in healthcare IT, what you can do is you can actually go to have a introduction to healthcare IT. You can find out what healthcare IT is all about. You can go to whatishealthcareit.com, whatishealthcareit.com, and if you already done that, then you can go to have a free course on healthcare IT. And if you can to take that, you can go to starthealthcareit.com. That's starthealthcareit.com. It's a free course about healthcare IT. Lets you know what you need to get started. Gives you all the tools, recommendations on how you can get the ball rolling. Now, if you want to, you're done on that, done all that, you're ready to jump into, you ready to get full force, full course training to where I meet with you once a week. I show you the tools. I teach you how to become a Jedi Knight in healthcare IT. You can actually go to healthcareitinfo.com. That's healthcareitinfo.com. You can go check out that program. And so that's it. I just wanted to just came to mind. I wanted to talk about Star Wars a little bit. Just popped in my head. I probably will not. I don't even know if and just before I head out, and they're doing these movies, these retro movies, like who cares about Han Solo? Again, this is Han Solo now. He's dead. He's gone. He's gone from the trilogy. Nobody really wants to go back. Like, why are you still telling these old Star Wars movies? Like they talking about they want to do. Just did a Han Solo movie. I didn't go see it. I'm not gonna go see it. I did go to see the what was the one that came out in between episode 7 and episode 8? Forgot the name of it. Old Republic or I don't know, something like that. Whatever it's called. I went to go see that. It was interesting. That was before I gave up on this new trilogy. But I think they're talking about still making a Obi-Wan movie. We've gotten enough of these characters. Like, we've gotten enough. Like, what I don't understand is that the Star Wars universe seems so big. Like, why are we still reliving these same old characters? Like, why are we doing prequels to Han Solo and Obi-Wan? We've already gotten the prequels before. We got a set of prequels with Anakin, like start Darth Vader. We got that, and we got that story, and that was told. That's done. Let's move on. Let's deal with entirely new people. I guess they were trying. They were doing some of that with the new trilogy, but they just didn't do it right. In my opinion, they just didn't do it right. They didn't do Luke justice. They made Luke to be like some sort of like coward in episode 7. Like, he didn't want to go and help. That's not Luke's character. It's ridiculous. It's not Luke's character from the end of episode 6. Luke is risking it all for everything, for his family, for his, for his sister, for Han, for his, for his friends. He's risking everything. He's risking his life. You telling me now, like all these years later, that Luke is now he doesn't want to. This is ridiculous, man. I'm sorry. I should stop I should stop. I should stop. I'm just bashing or talking about Star Wars. Somebody. It makes me so angry and frustrated that because I enjoyed Star Wars original. Just so you know, I enjoyed the original trilogy. Original trilogy. I thought it was great. I mean, it set off everything. I even enjoyed the prequel trilogy. Where they talked about, Anakin and all that stuff. A lot of the stuff they could have left out, of course. There's extra stuff in there with Jar Jar Binks and all this extra foolery. But I enjoyed learning about Obi-Wan when he was young. Who his master was. I met Anakin as young. I enjoyed those things and all of that stuff and how he actually morphed and turned into Darth Vader. That whole aspect was interesting. So that was needed. I actually, and that's how I actually got into Star Wars in the first place from the new trilogy. I got into Star Wars that way. When the new trilogy came out and they talking about this, the story is going to be told of how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. How he became that way. And I say, oh, who was Darth Vader? Like, who was this Star Wars? Let me go check out Star Wars trilogy, the original. And I watched the original, and I became a Star Wars fan. And like, maybe the new generation of people, I don't even know. Like, I had to ask some people. Like, I had to ask some kids to see what do they think about the new Star Wars trilogy? Like, that's the thing, right? Does the new trilogy make you want to say, wow, what is the backstory to all of this? Let me go check out. I mean, if it makes the kids, maybe if it makes the kids want to go see the prior movies, then Disney's done its job, but it's not for this new trilogy. Is not for me. So, but that's it. I'm not going to rant. That's the word I'm looking for. Rant anymore. I just want to try to just talk about Star Wars. I'm kind of depressed now because I talked about Star Wars. I should have talked about Star Wars first and then went to Marvel. Then I would have been happy. But that's how this new Star Wars trilogy does not relate to healthcare IT. So thank you for listening to my rant for half an hour, for 30 minutes about Star Wars and how I dislike it so much, this new trilogy. Yes, so I'm going to go and lay down now, I guess. I don't know. I'm depressed. So until next time, my name is Terrell Pauly with LearnHealthcareIT.com. Take care.